Okay, now what we're going to be doing is learning about strumming, learning about applying rhythm, knowledge that we have about beat and rhythm and all these different things, and putting it to the guitar itself. Now, the first thing we want to do is make sure that we're holding the guitar properly so we're not grabbing onto the guitar. So always remember that you have 3 points of pressure that you want to focus on. Number one, there's your leg, which is where the curvy part of the guitar sits on the leg. You pull it all the way back to your body. As much as you might want to turn it like this so you can see it, I would highly recommend not doing that. Pull it all the way to your chest, all the way to your stomach, okay? And then your arm comes over, right over here, so you are able to strum over the sound hole. Now, if you're using an electric, it's okay. You're going to strum somewhere kind of in between the pickups, somewhere around there, okay? So you just, the point is you're not strumming way back here and you're not strumming way over here. You're spending the majority of your time trying to strum over the sound hole here. Okay, so between my leg, my stomach, and my arm, I'm able to hold this guitar in place, and now I can focus on actually playing it, okay? So the next thing to do here is understand how the arm moves. So the trick with strumming and rhythm and all these different things that we do is learning how to stay loose. The more you tense up, the more you're going to get sore and you're going to run into problems. And of course, when we tense up, the problem is we think we're just tensing up our hands or something, but we're actually tensing up my arm and my shoulders and my back and my neck and all these things. And so when you're ready to play, right, and you sit down, just make sure that you're really loose. Make sure you're really limber and everything is kind of loosened up. So when I move to play the guitar, I'm moving primarily from the elbow. Okay, I'm not doing this. I'm not using my forearm to do all the work. Okay, I'm using my elbow and my bicep to move that arm freely back and forth. And of course, my hand is pretty loose as I play. You'll notice again, I'm holding the guitar pick between my first finger and my thumb. Okay, I'm not using all my fingers, grabbing it really tight. Eventually, I want to use those fingers for other things, so I highly recommend you get used to using your first and your thumb to hold that pick and let everybody else go loose. If you really don't like some of the things I suggest, it's okay. Find a way that works for you. But I do guarantee you that at some point, if you use all your fingers to hold onto a guitar pick, someday you're going to wish that you hadn't, because you're actually going to want to use those fingers for other things as you're playing. So I'm holding onto the pick really loose, okay, just relaxed. I'm going to move from that elbow. My wrist is nice and loose as I play. And I'm going to start learning how to strum the guitar, okay? So what I want to do here is I'm going to teach you how to do a technique that I love to teach to people called scratching. And what we're going to do is at this point, we're going to take any chords that we know and we're going to throw them out the window for right now. Because what we want to understand is learning how to play chords on the guitar requires an element of our brain. Learning how to strum on the guitar requires a completely different element of our brain. So when we try and do these things together, the problem is oftentimes is that we wind up failing, like something doesn't work and then we get frustrated and we think we're not good and all these sorts of things. That couldn't be further from the truth. What you have to understand is when you want to practice your chords, practice your chords. Practice bouncing and all these different kinds of techniques that I teach about learning how to play chords and moving them back and forth and memorizing, the chords and muscle memory and all this stuff. Strumming shouldn't worry about chords. Strumming should worry about strumming. Okay, so what we want to do is just simply touch all 6 strings with our fingers. Not press on them hard, just touch them. Very lightly, and it doesn't matter where you're at. You can be up here, you can be here, you can be down here, but I'm just barely touching the strings with my hand, so I'm getting this scratching sound. Okay, so now if we take into account learning how to play along with a metronome, right? Setting the tempo of the song. So I'm gonna have the tempo of my metronome. I'm using it from my mobile device. I'm gonna set it at 100 beats per minute, which means it's clicking 100 times each minute, okay? And what I'm gonna do, 1, 2, 3, 4, is I'm gonna scratch downward along with that metronome, and I want you to do the same thing with me. So here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and what you're trying to have happen is The motion of your arm, of course, your arm has to go down and then it has to come back up to go down again. So you have kind of a full circle happening here with your hand as you're moving back and forth. And the trick is to try and strike those strings so it doesn't sound like Pac-Man. We're not getting that sound. We're striking them so all 6 strings kind of sound like one thing. Just like that. Okay? And then we need to get back up and strike it again by the time the metronome clicks. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. What's happening here with your arm, I often refer to it as the Maracas Feel, which is, if you think about it, if you play a maraca, you're moving the arm back and forth like this. You got to keep those beads moving. So you're moving the maraca back and forth like this. If you stop, the beads fall to the bottom, and then you got to start up again. So the trick is to keep it moving. Well, the same thing happens with the arm. The goal is to learn how to feel the tempo of the music in your arm as you play. Now, the tempo could be anything. If 100 seems a little fast for you, use your metronome and slow it down a little bit. Slow it down to 80. Try 80 and see if that's a little bit better. Let's give that a try. So here's 80. 1, 2, ready, go. You see? So the arm will move, of course, at different speeds relative to the tempo that you're trying to play along at. And the goal isn't always to try and play fast, right? Sometimes it's just as hard, if not harder, to play a little bit slower because you have to relax a little bit. It can't just be how fast you can play. So the goal with this is practicing scratching at various different tempos. Scratch at a little bit slower tempo. You know, try it at a little bit faster tempo. See what you can do with these things, okay? Now, the next part is learning how to convert from quarter notes to eighth notes. And if you understand what quarter notes are when we count, I'm going to go back to 100 here. Okay. Quarter notes are when we just count 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. We're playing with each beat as it goes by. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are quarter notes. If we want to play eighth notes, which are twice as fast as quarter notes, that means what we're going to do is we're actually going to start playing on the up strum in between the down strums. So instead of just playing 1, 2, 3, 4, you're going to play 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So now instead of just lifting the arm up to strum down again, you're actually striking the strings on the up strum. So listen to this and try and play along. We'll try 80 beats per minute too to see which one is better for you. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Now here's what we're going to do. We're going to strum quarter notes, then eighth notes, then quarter notes, then eighth notes. And it's going to look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so try that with me. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Now that right there is the essence of strumming on the guitar. Now there's other things that we can do, but that right there is one of the most important things that you can possibly learn. Because the arm can only move back and forth. That's all it can do. It can move back and forth slower or faster, but that's all it can do. So the more you can get comfortable with playing along with a metronome and locking into that tempo. Now let's try 80. Okay, there we go. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. You see? So again, the tempo doesn't matter. Okay? One of the big things that guitar players get is this guitar player syndrome where they always think that they have to be the fastest person or they have to learn how to do something really fast, really quick, or none of this could be further from the truth. The whole point of guitar playing is, what do you understand, and how can you convert what you understand into something that sounds organically comfortable to a listener? So if you're trying to play music, the whole point is to engage people. Like, they listen to you and then they want to continue listening. It's not just, wow, look at how fast I ran to the grocery store. Man, was I fast. And then like your spouse or your, boyfriend or girlfriend is going, yeah, but you shook up my soda and now it sprayed all over the point is it's not always about how fast you can do something. It's, can you do it right? Can you do it well, right? If you can do it right and you can do it well, chances are you're going to be able to do it faster. It comes naturally, okay? So the point of rhythm is, if you and I are playing together, I'm not impressed by how fast you can play. What I want is, if we start playing something together, I want you to play along with me. Not just, well, I can go faster than that. I don't want you to go faster than that. I want the song to be right here. This is my song. That's what my song is, or whatever. And I want you to play along with me. I don't want you to tell me I should be playing it faster, or let's play it as fast as possible. I want you to find where I am and play along with me. Okay, it's very important. That's what groove is all about. That's what making music is all about. Okay, so now we've got quarter notes, we've got eighth notes. Okay, downs and down ups. Now, the thing about this is that we could actually convert to 16th notes, and I'm going to do that at 80 because it'll be a little bit easier. So if we think about it, if we were doing quarter notes, that's playing on each one of these. Eighth notes would be playing 2 for each one. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Well, 16th notes would mean we want to play 4 for each one. 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a... So here's the dilemma, if you will. When you played quarter notes, you put them on downs. When you played eighth notes, you put them on down ups. So you've expended all of your down ups. You got nothing left. So here's what we do is, let's convert our down ups on the eighth notes to all downs. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. You see how I did that? So instead of doing this, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, I'm going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So I'm playing the same tempo, but physically I'm playing them all as downs. And what that does is it frees up the up strum. So I've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E. So now I can play upstrokes in between. So watch this. Here's our quarter notes. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Quarters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now we're going to do the eighth notes down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 16ths. Now, obviously, that's going to be quite fast, even at 80. And if we wanted to convert it into 30-second notes, we'd be doing even more, even faster. So, again, mathematically, it just keeps going on forever. But the point is, when you listen to a song, you start listening to it, and you tap your foot or you tap your hand or whatever, and you're listening to this song. One of those three things are where you're going to strum 99% of the time. You're either going to strum downs, you're going to strum down ups, or you're going to strum down ups at the double time. Okay? That's the way this works, right? So we're thinking of like Fish in the Dark, which is a D chord, right? So I've got a D chord and it's going... Now they're tuned down, but they're in a different tuning, but don't worry about that. So I've got D going... That to me is where the beat would be. Okay, so it's not, that feels too slow to me, so I want them on here. Okay, so that's kind of how this whole rhythm thing works, understanding quarter notes and eighth notes and 16th notes, and then being able to play them against a metronome. Really important to be able to do that.